essentially, I mean, that seemed to be almost a blueprint, or the first time that I fully consciously or semi-consciously fully enacted this methodology or principle, was that I was in a situation where I felt like I couldn't carry on living, that I was going to self-destruct. And in order to protect myself from that eventuality, I actually made myself vulnerable. I sent myself off to Morocco without money, without connections, without a safety net, to put myself in a very dangerous and difficult situation, to make myself vulnerable, trusting that, well, there were two things. One was very basic, and that was that was trusting that my survival instinct would take over, and it would bring me through that in a way that it wouldn't if I was too safe and too overtly protected, too cushioned. And the other thing was that I wanted life itself to intervene. There was a little bit of hubris in it, I think, for me. On the other hand, it was also genuine, because I genuinely wanted to die. So I threw myself into a figurative abyss of Morocco, trusting that life would take care of me. And I was begging on the streets, and that I knew that was dangerous, because, well, I'm supposed to be the one that gets fleeced. I'm not supposed to be there fleecing their culture, relying on their kindness and favors. I'm supposed to be the provider of wealth as a Nazarene and as a foreigner. So I was inverting that and kind of poaching on their territory. So I knew that could be dangerous in and of itself. But anyway, yeah, I only got attacked once. And generally speaking, I was given wide berth. And over time, the Moroccans stopped trying to prey on me, because they saw, well, I was begging. I couldn't possibly have money. They couldn't understand that. It didn't make any sense to them. And also, I was dressed in a poncho and Arab shoes and whatnot, and a very peculiar looking foreigner. I found out that the poncho I wore was very much like the style that Moroccans dressed in back in the 1400s or something like that. So not only was I passing for a native, well, I wasn't really, it wasn't a jalaba, but I was passing for, an ancient kind of medieval kind of native, unconsciously. What I found out is that they all thought I was crazy. Because why else would a Westerner come to Morocco with no money, from the land of milk and honey, to beg on the streets of Morocco? It made no sense. And of course they were right, it didn't. It only made sense within my own, psychological, mythical narrative that I was generating for myself. I was using the whole of Morocco as not as a playground, but as a, well, whatever, a testing ground to test my mettle and to discover something about my resources. That was quite irrational. But anyway, the point here was that in Morocco, in the culture there, the Arab culture, crazy people are considered to be touched by God, and therefore they are off limits. You don't mess with them. And I was aware of an element of craziness in what I was doing, and I was trusting that would protect me. But I didn't realize there was actually a cultural context for that. There would be a cultural reason why I would be protected. When I lived in Pamplona, I would walk around the castle walls every day, right along the edge, and then I would meditate sitting on the edge, and I would do deep meditation. So I would go into these altered states where I was not even aware of my body, and then I would come back and I was sitting right on the edge of an abyss.